Hi everyone, it's Alison. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be making some Christmas cards. A friend of mine asked if I would make her some and she wanted them to be clean and simple. So I thought what I would do is I will show you how I make them and hopefully this will give you some inspiration too. So let's get started. Right, so I've cut myself some card bases just using white cardstock, and this is just the standard 5 3/4 wide by 8 1/4 scored at 4 1/8. So that's an A4 sheet that's just been sliced in half. And so I've got 10 of those, and I've also gone ahead and I've done some embossing for the front panel, and I've got sort of several Christmassy embossing folders. I will show you a little later on what you can do if you don't have any embossing folders. So this one I've got some little snow falling, I've got some snowflakes there. Hope you can see that okay. One of my lights is broken, so I've only got one light at the moment, but hopefully that's okay. And then I've got this one here. So these are really simple to make. You're just literally going to take your embossed piece of card and adhere that to your card base. Okay, and that just sits on there like that. And these pieces of card here for the mats are 4 inches by, I believe it's 5 5/8. Let me just have a quick look. Yes, 5 5/8 by 4 inches. And so what I'm then going to do is just adhere all my other pieces to the other cards. I've got 6 embossed pieces in total. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick those to the front of my card. Right, so I've now stuck my embossed panels onto the cards. And the theme I'm going to be doing with these cards are just little, I'm going to have Christmas trees. And these are so simple to make. You don't need any special dies or anything like that. So what you want to do is, with a piece of patterned paper, you can use any patterned paper you like. This piece measures 6 inches by 1 1/2, or is it, no, 2 1/4. 6 inches by 2 1/4. And if you've got a dark pattern, which this is, you might want to just turn it over. And just take your ruler and just line it up along the bottom, and you just want to make a mark at 1 1/2, 3 and 4 1/2. Okay, and then turn your paper round, and then you want to place a mark at 3/4 inch, 2 1/4, 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, and you want those as close to the edge of your paper as you can. And then grab a trimmer, and what you're wanting to do is to line up the corner here with your first mark that you've made there. So line it up on your trimmer. So you've just taken that piece off there. Okay, and then you want to line up this point with the next mark that you've made up there, and that's going to give us our triangle. Okay, and then that's made us our very basic triangle, but which looks like a Christmas tree. And so then with the next one, you've got your point here. You then want to line that up and line up with the bottom, the next mark at the bottom there. Okay, and then again line up this one with the next mark at the top, and you just want to go ahead and do that with all the remaining marks that are left. Okay, so that will give us, out of that size piece of pattern paper, that will give us 7 trees, the other one I put down there, okay? And so then what you want to do is cut yourself out some more triangles with different pattern paper so that you've got those already. And then it's just a case of positioning them on your card front, and you can lay them out however you like. So for this one, I think I'm going to just sort of first of all lay it down before you apply any glue, just so you can get an idea of where you want to position them. Something like that. And I do just use some liquid glue just to stick those on. Okay, and then that one I'm going to put there, but I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to lift it up, so I'm going to put it on some foam backed stickers. You know, they're just raised like that, just to raise it off the card slightly, just to give it a bit of dimension. And then we'll just position that down where we want it. There we go. So now we've got our collection of trees there. And then for the sentiment, I've already gone ahead and stamped all my sentiments, but I've just done a simple Merry Christmas, and I think I shall put this up on dimensionals as well. And there we go, that's our first card done. How quick was that? And then for the next one, we'll grab another card base with our embossed front on, and we're just going to put our trees on again. Choose a different pattern this time, and this time we'll just position them in a slightly different place. And I think these ones I will raise all of them, so I'll put that, stick those on the back. Right, and so we'll grab our first one and position that so it's roughly in the middle. And we'll put our second one just slightly lower. Okay, and then we'll grab a sentiment again. Again, I'm going to put the foam backing on. And that's card 2 made. Very quick and easy. And then for our third card, I'm going to add a bit of glitter. And what I've done is I've cut some little pieces out of gold glitter card, and these measure 1 inch by 3/8 of an inch. And these are just going to create little tree trunks like that. And to stick these on, you can use glue, but not all glue will stick to glitter card, so you're probably better off using a double-sided tape. So you just want to apply about halfway down just a piece of double-sided tape, like that. So So I'm going to need 3 trunks. Okay, and then just take the backing off. And just checking it straight, just stick your tree onto its little trunk. Okay, and that's our first little tree made. So I'm going to do that on the other 2. Okay, so now we've got our 3 trees. Just decide where you're going to want to put them. So I'm going to put one up there. Okay, and then just be mindful when you are sticking down onto an embossed surface, because obviously it is raised, you really want to make sure that you're pushing down firmly so that everything is stuck down, because it can be a bit more difficult when you've got a raised surface. Okay, so that's our 3 trees stuck down, and you'll notice I am using 3 on each card. You can put more on if you like. I just found that 3 was just the right amount, so I didn't want it to look overly cluttered. Okay, and then for our sentiment, I've still got my Merry Christmas, but as we've added some glitter on with the trunks, I've also added just a glitter background. And all I did was just stuck my sentiment on, and then I just cut round it just so I had like a small border there. So I will just glue that down. And there we go, that's card 3. And then for our 4th card, I'm going to do the same again and add some branches, trunks, sorry, to these trees. Alright, so that's my 3 trees made, and these I'm going to position in the middle. And there we go, that's our 4th card made. Okay, now for my 5th one, I got this embossing folder where it's more over to the left hand side. I actually got this from the NEC craft fair that was on a couple of weeks ago. It was only 99p, this embossing folder, so it was an absolute bargain. But I wanted to show you that you can make different size trees. So I wanted to make a nice long slender one. So what I've got is a piece of patterned paper that measures 4 inches by 1.5, and you want to just turn it over, and it's basically what you do, whatever your width is, you then want to mark the halfway point. So this is, let's check I've got this the right way, that's not directional, but find the top of your tree. If it's 1.5 wide, then I just need to place a mark at 3/4 of an inch. So if yours is 2 inches wide, you'd place it at 1 inch. So it's whichever the halfway point is. And grab your trimmer again, and you'll just want to cut down from this halfway point that you've got there down to the corner on the other side, like we did with the other trees. Just turn it round and do the same again from that point there down to the bottom corner. Okay, and there we've got our long thin tree. So I'm going to stick my little trunk on. There we go, so that's our long tree, and we're just going to position that next to our pile of presents there. There we go. And I'm going to make another one of these, but I will use a different pattern paper, so it will then make it look different then. Right, and there we go, that's our 6th card. And so you'll see, although it's laid out the same, it looks different due to having the different pattern paper. And there's our other ones as well. So how quick was that to make those? All looking different. Okay, so if you don't have an embossing folder, or at least a Christmas embossing folder, then there are still ways of just adding some interest to your cards. And what you can do is you can use your scoring board. So I've got a little board here, and what you want to do is grab your card base. You want to open it up, and then I'm going to have mine landscape like this. So I'm going to turn it round, and you're going to score the inside of the front of the card. Okay, and you can do any design you like, but for me what I'm going to do is I'm going to do score down at 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to score on each of the lines that follow. So it's 1.5, then it's 1 5/8, 1 3/4, and so on, and I'm going to do that until I've got 10 lines. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so you've got that, and then when you close it, you'll see we've got this lovely raised pattern there. And then you can just go ahead and stick our trees down again where we'd like them. And you can actually use the same pattern that you've done on the embossed ones. So if I'm going to do these ones, I think. So see how they're raised, so I'm going to follow that pattern on this card. And so there you go. So you don't need to have an embossing folder, and although it's the same design, it just looks subtly different. And so then for another design, using the scoreboard, we'll do the same thing again where you've got the front of your card, and we'll open it up. And for this one, we're going to do our first line at 5/8 of an inch, and then do another 4 lines in the next one along, so 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and so on. So that's 3, 4 and 5. And then we want to go over to 1 7/8 of an inch, and do 4 lines. And then over to 3 inches and do another 5 lines. Okay, and then when you close it up, you've got that pattern. And there are so many different variations of this, but it just proves that you don't have to have embossing folders to give a bit of interest to the front of your card. And I'm going to do these white trees for this one. There we go. And again, that's using the same design that we did on one of the earlier ones. Right, and for the last 2 cards, I've gone ahead and I've scored the fronts again, like I did with the other 2. And again, I followed the same design that I'd done with the embossing folder. Somewhere they're going to be at the bottom now, aren't they? Yep, so that's that one. And that way it just makes it really simple and quick. So they're a different card following the same design. It's just really quick and simple to make. And so that's our 10 cards done. And I wanted to show you, I've made another 10 following the same designs. But this time I've used like a lovely blue, and then I've used silver glitter paper. And again, I've followed the same pattern with the scoring board. I forgot what it was called then. And it just makes it a lot easier. You're only really sort of having a few designs, but when they're put together on different backgrounds using glitter, it really does make a difference. And then these are our ones with the 2 thin trees. And so there you have it. I really hoped you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And also I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel, and if you hit the bell icon you'll also be notified when I upload another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.